My mom and dad were married in Salt Lake City on June 8th, 1927. Immediately left to go to Washington, D.C. to open up a 9-stool A&W root beer stand. The root beer stand was very popular and did a great business, but when the weather got cold, people stopped drinking ice-cold root beer. To stay in business, they added chili and hot tamales and hamburgers and hot dogs to the menu and called their little place a hot shop. And it became very, very popular. They had a second hot shop on 9th Street. The first hot shop was up at 14th Street near Park Road. But as time went on, they diversified and the hot shops grew bigger and bigger. I was 6 years old. My father took me into the basement of the hot shop number 8 at the 14th Street Bridge and said, "This is going to be one of the futures of our company. We're going into putting food on airplanes." Apparently several other people came into the restaurants there and they all said, "We want box lunches to go on Eastern Airlines. We're flying to New York." So my dad went to Florida, got a hold of Rickenbacker and convinced him to buy meals for airlines. It was the airline catering business was started by my dad back in 1938. It's a great story. We continued to diversify, growing into food service management. We did cafeterias for government, and we fed the Navy Department and the Naval Base over on 8th Street. So we had a growing business in the 30s and 40s with hot shops. I went to a good prep school in Washington and was thinking about Ivy League schools. All my friends are going to Ivy League schools. But my father said, "Oh no, you got to go to Utah, find a Mormon wife." So I went to the University of Utah, enrolled there, and at the same time enrolled in Navy ROTC. And it was a great move. I found my Mormon wife, and we've been married 63 years. Also, a great benefit of being in Salt Lake City at the time was we had a hot shop there. And so I learned the business by working in the hot shop during the week and on weekends and during the evenings, and I really fell in love with the restaurant business. I loved the pace, I loved the excitement of it. Finally, in 1954, I graduated from the University of Utah, went to Navy Supply Corps School in Athens, Georgia, and I served on the Randolph, an aircraft carrier from World War II, for almost 2 years in the Mediterranean and the Caribbean and the North Atlantic. It was a great experience for me, and I enjoyed it a great deal. I always enjoyed the Navy. One of my dad's best friends was Mervyn Benyon, who was captain of the West Virginia battleship and was killed at Pearl Harbor, and I got to know him a little bit when I was a kid. And so we really had a fine appreciation for the Navy. During World War II, 2 of my uncles, my dad's brothers, were in the Navy, and so I had great respect and love for the Navy. My service on board the Randolph taught me a lot of things, one of which was that you can't command and control everything. You have to really get people to buy into the situation that you're in. If you want to solve a problem, you've got to get buy-in. You've got to get people to collaborate with you and think about what you're doing and what you need to do and what the goal is going to be. And you just can't say, "I'm a Lieutenant JG," and do what I tell you. It doesn't work. And I think that I learned that in the Navy, and my parents always taught me to be compassionate. They established the culture of our company, which is take good care of your employees, and they'll take good care of the customer, and the customer will come back. In the 1950s, my dad bought a piece of land at the 14th Street Bridge in Washington. In 1956, I got out of the Navy, joined the family business just in time for the opening of our first hotel. He was going to build a commissary to distribute food to his restaurants. But one of his executives said, "This is the age of the automobile. People are going to be traveling more by car. The new interstate highway system, which Eisenhower designed, is going to roll out. We should build a motel at the end of the 14th Street Bridge." So we built the world's largest motor hotel, 365 rooms overlooking the Potomac River. And it was really very successful the first month or so because it was opened during Eisenhower's inaugural. But after that first month, business went way down. My father was looking for something for me to do, and I said, why don't you let me run that hotel? He said, you don't know anything about the hotel business. I said, I know that, but neither does anybody else around here. So he allowed me to take it over and run it, and had a great time managing that property. It was a lot of fun because back then we had drive-in check-in. So if you pulled in your car and pulled up to the check-in counter, you were outside, and we'd look in the window of the car to find out how many people were in the car. Our room rate was $8. We got another $1 for each person in the car. The guests were taken to their room by a boy on a bicycle. That was exciting during the winter months when there was ice all over the roads. And then a few years later, we opened our second hotel. It was part of the Key Bridge Hot Shop. We had another 200 rooms, and we were off and running. Now today, we've innovated. We have 30 different brands, 127 countries, and we continue to make sure each brand is separate and distinctive and is providing our guests with the services and the experiences that they want to have. As a company and as a family, we've always tried to give back to the communities where we work. My mom and dad were very generous through the years. In fact, in 1983, we were the first company to support the Children's Miracle Network, raising money to support children's hospitals in small communities and big communities. And through the years now, we've raised $120 million for this tremendous effort. And it comes from our associates who give a little bit, and from our customers who give some of their rewards points. And we're very proud of our contribution to Children's Miracle Network. We've also, with our Family Foundation, established what we call Bridges to Work, for young men and women who are graduating from high school, who have special needs. We've placed 16,000 of these kids in meaningful jobs when they've graduated from high school in 12 different major metropolitan areas around the country. And today we just launched our 360 program, which says we have a desire to contribute around the world to 360 degrees. We want to sustain the environment. We want to provide opportunities for our people, our employees. We want to support human rights. We want our hotels and the communities to be beacons of charitable contributions and effort to support people and help people, provide opportunities for them to grow and develop, and continue to be a good corporate citizen in every community where we work.
Let's get to work.
How do you say the name? Marriott or Marriott?
Marriott.
Good to know.